once in a while.
With the literacy thing, we're just actually launched at our very first meeting today. We talked about integrating students writing in the schools and students writing in from elementary school right through the high school, mentoring, partnering with Bedford Citizen, and writing scripts for Bedford TV. We thought it would be cool to include as much of the high school and world of work and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's why we have Brian, who is a guidance counselor at Bedford High School, to come and speak with us today. And this can kind of be interactive too, to see how we can build a closer partnership to build opportunities for young people in Bedford. So Brian, I don't have your whole background in that stuff because I forgot to ask you for it, but I'll let you fill us in on that. But really, thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Ralph and Don, too, for setting me up at the Zoom and inviting me. I didn't realize that we confirmed this, I think, early July, and then, you know, here we are already at the end of September. It's just crazy to me how fast time just flies. So yeah, just to give you a little sense of what my role is, I'm a school counselor here at the high school. I've been here since September 2008. So what is that, almost 14 years at Bedford High School. As a school counselor, I have a pretty unique role. My role is I work strictly with the students that come from Hanscom Air Force Base. So all of my entire caseload is what you might consider, or might say, military brats. And, you know, if you're familiar with the military, you know that there's frequent moves and kids are truly global citizens. They've been all over the world. So my caseload goes up and down, up and down. When I started in 2008, there was about 75 students that lived on Hanscom Air Force Base that attended the school. The number grew all the way up to about 150, 160 students from Hanscom Air Force Base. And then COVID happened. And COVID really delayed the moves. They call them PCSing. And so for 2 years, that number kind of just held still until this past May and June, when things kind of opened up again. So we lost an incredible amount of students. We did gain some, but right now, my caseload is at about 85 students from Hanscom Air Force Base. So to not fill in the rest of my downtime, because even with the amount of kids that I have, it's still pretty busy. And throughout this conversation, you might see me looking over to what is my left, shaking my head no. That is just me telling kids not to come into my office. Even though there is a big "do not enter, I'm in a meeting" sign, they're teenagers, they have their own agenda sometimes and they'll come in. So if I'm shaking my head no, it has nothing to do with anything that's going on today during the presentation. It's just me telling kids to kind of wait it out for the next half hour or so. So I'm grateful that I was invited today because we started this, it was last year, really last September. We do a lot of great things at the high school. This is a fantastic public high school. We do a lot with post-secondary, you know, for getting kids ready to transition from high school to college, or maybe enlist in the military. But one of the things I've talked about with Principal Galante is there's not a lot of connection between the business community and, let's say, the students that go to the high school. So, you know, she basically said, you can take this upon yourself, run with it, see what you want to do with it. So if I could just pull up my, do I have screen sharing responsibilities here? Or I put together a few slides just to kind of go over what we're trying to do at the high school and what we've done, you know, since last year. So I'm going to, if I could, I don't know if I have screen.
Yeah, you should, Brian.
Okay, let me just find my presentation real quick. There it is.
This is when I tell people to play hold music in their head.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm looking. Sometimes when I should be an expert at this, especially just going through COVID, and I feel like Zoom is one of the good things that kind of came out of COVID. There's a lot of convenience behind it, especially for parents. They're busy, but oh wait, there it is. All right, do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, slide who's format. All right, so that's me. So we're calling it Career Pathways. And just for future reference, if you ever needed to get in touch with me, there's my email and there's my direct line. I always say email's better, but there's my direct line and extension. Oh. There you go. So our main focus is really to make connections with the business community. To link our students, to provide our students with some exposure to the real world, so to speak, and what the real world of work means, and to get them some hands-on exposure, information, and even possibly at some point, sometimes, if you do job shadows, you could really link up with somebody that could be like an additional mentor in your life. And there are three major components to this: career speakers, job shadows, and internships. However, we're not limited to that. My kind of charge or mission is behind this is to really just bring the business community to the high school, or bring our students to the business community. Like I was saying earlier, we do a lot of really good things here. But one of the things that we need to work on is really addressing and getting kids ready for that transition out into the real world and the accountable world, so to speak. So job shadows. This is something that we piloted last year. And in my previous positions, not in Bedford, I did a lot of this kind of work. And really a job shadow would be like a half day on-site, hands-on, observing, interacting from an expert in the field. Ideally, we have a program here, and it's a career aptitude test, and it's really science-based, and it actually takes a few hours, and it has a series of batteries of tests you take, and at the end of it, it'll come back with a list of careers and potential career pathways that are linked to your personality. It's very, very accurate. Now I'm saying no to somebody, sorry. So last year, what we did, I was pretty ambitious. I wanted to actually do a job shadow day for the entire sophomore class. And the reason we decided sophomores is because in high school, everybody knows there's 4 years. There's freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. Freshman year, there's a lot of transition, adjustment, trying to figure out who you are as a student, trying to navigate high school. Junior year, you're getting ready to plan for that post-secondary, your senior year, what you're going to do after high school. And then senior year, kids are applying to colleges or figuring out what they want to do. And then a lot of them just kind of want to get through the rest of the year. Sophomore year, there's not a lot going on. The only thing sophomores, really have to look forward to is that Massachusetts MCAS test, which, it is what it is, but it's not something exciting, and it's not something kids look forward to. So we decided that sophomore year would be a good year to kind of provide kids with an opportunity to get out of the building for the day, and get some exposure to a career path that they might be interested in. So like I said, initially, I really was like, yeah, let's do the whole sophomore class. However, and I'm going to repeat the same thing, a lot of companies and a lot of the bigger corporations are still operating under like COVID protocols, where they're not, they can't take on, groups of students. So they, you can't come in unless you're vaccinated, and we don't want to get into asking kids what their vaccination status is. So last year we piloted it, and we really, I thought the range of careers was awesome. We ended up placing 12 sophomores in Bedford. We did some with the Bedford Research Foundation, which actually ended up taking the 2 students and hiring them and put them on their payroll. So the 2 students did a job shadow there. Then they ended up doing an internship there, and now they're hired there. Ideally, that's how you want all situations to work out. We worked with local government, the rec department, youth and family services, the treasurer. They all took on a different crew of kids, and we dropped them off. Actually, they walked across the field, and they were there for a half day. And then we had a real estate company in town for a couple kids that were interested in marketing, and then Bedford Pediatrics, which was great too, because I wasn't sure that we could have a healthcare facility take on 2 of our students, but they did. All the students went out. They came here to school in the morning around 7:45, and then we either walked them to their site or they walked independently. And that's the great thing about Bedford. It's a small town. But if we were going to do something on a much larger scale, we would coordinate with transportation companies and get kids placed, and we'll drop them off and pick them up. But when the kids came back from their job sites, we had lunch together, took some photographs, and they, obviously they all wrote thank you notes and really appreciated the experience. But it really gave 2 things. One, it gave kids insight into something that they're really interested in, but it also gave kids insight into something that they thought they might be interested in, but now after that little experience, they might want to change and go in a different direction. So job shadow was a big piece of this. The other part that was really successful, I think, last year were career speakers. And this is something I'm working on now to book people in the future. So if any of you have a career or something that you're interested in, or past career, maybe you retired and want to talk about how you got there, I'd be more than happy to take your information or shoot me an email. Last year, we had over 13 speakers. We had everybody from Mass State Police, the forensics department. We had an OT, an occupational therapist. We had a vice president of a pharmaceutical company who was in charge of marketing. iRobot, they're a fan favorite. Kids love getting into STEM. We actually have iRobot doing a virtual meeting with our students in the end of October. And what I mean by virtual, all of these speakers are Zoom, but this one in particular is a tour of their facility and a conversation about careers. And I guess a robot does the tour of iRobot. So I'm looking forward to that. We also had a counselor, therapist talking about a private practice and how she went through the steps to get licensed. And there were a few more too. I think, when we think about this, Bedford High has a pretty unique schedule. We operate on a 6-day rotating schedule, days 1 through 6. But our speakers really can only, because the kids' schedules are so full, we really can only have speakers come in on days 2 and 5, really from 7:45 to 8:55. And usually I don't want to take up somebody's time either. So it's about 40 minutes. And that, at the top, it says flex block, and at the bottom, that flex block may only occur once or twice per week. And then, trying to coordinate with the business or the company, the speaker, their availability, our availability. So I was basically what I'm trying to say is I was impressed with the amount of speakers we had last year, because flex block here too, there are other things going on in the building, and students are drawn into a million different directions, and students are completely volunteer to sign up for these speaking engagements. And but they were all well attended, and the speakers really put some great PowerPoints together. And I think people really enjoy talking about their story and how they got to where they are today. So career speakers is a big thing, and I'm booking them now. I already have 4 of them scheduled. iRobot, I got the forensics back. We're gonna have somebody from Bedford Police Department talk about careers in policing. And you know what? Now I'm drawing a blank on the 4th, but I'll think of it before we're done. So internships, this is the last piece. Internships is something that we have currently embedded into our schedules, but I think for the principal's vision, she would really like to get kids placed, seniors that are in good standing, and maybe towards the end of the year, or like once we get past second quarter, is to get them placed into a company, business, wherever, some site that they could leave school early and do a few hours a week at an internship to really get that hands-on experience. Currently, right now, which I think is a great thing, and it says a lot about Bedford High School and Bedford Public Schools, we have an internship program that is for seniors and juniors, and it's embedded in their schedule. And it's a K-8 program. So we have right now, I think it's, well, we have 24 students that are in internships throughout the district. And that means we have students placed at Davis School, we have students placed at Lane School, we have students placed at the middle school right down the path. And then we also have a student placed with Case Collaborative. And then we have students placed in the lab program. The lab program is within the high school here. The interesting piece too is because of COVID, there was and there still is a teacher shortage. The Department of Ed came up with, it was a program, a grant. It was called High School Senior Internship Program. And we linked our kids up with that last year, and it's through Mass Hire. And we paid our seniors a monthly stipend before they graduated. So a lot of seniors walked out of here with like a nice little chunk of cash. And those seniors, you know, most of them were going to a school or 4-year college, and they could apply that money to that. So it was a win-win for everybody. And like I said, right now, our kids are placed throughout the district, and they're really hands-on in the classroom, working with the teachers and the students. But again, like I said, a lot of companies are still operating under COVID protocols, and you know, I totally get that. And so it's hard to get kids placed in internships. So my real goal for this year is to, one, do a big job shadow day, like having kids go out half day throughout the community. I mean, there's so many businesses here too, it's crazy. And then really have twice as many career speakers as we did last year. So we had 13 last year, and I'm hoping to get to about 26 this year. And I think I'll do that just through putting the word out. And, you know, some of our best speakers were all parents of current Bedford High School students. We advertised through our bulletin, and I was so impressed with the amount of parents that responded and really just talked about their careers and what it was like in high school and college. And so that being said, those are my slides. And this, like, you know, this is a really a brand new initiative for the high school, but I'm just looking to branch out, and I appreciate your time, and I will take any questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms, whatever you want to throw my way. I'd be more than happy to talk about.
All right, do you want to stop sharing, Brian?
Yeah, if I can figure out how to do this again.
Oh, okay. Well, I think.
Yeah, why don't you take me out, like, get rid of me.
Oh.
Oh, wait, stop.
Oh, there, you did it faster. Good job. And do you want to turn your camera back on? It's up to you. Okay, great. So
Does anybody have a question?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Brian, I'm really impressed with what you just presented.
Oh.
I don't dare say anything. Can I say something now?
You can, yeah.
Okay, sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to ruin it.
No, no.
Our conversation this morning over at Bedford TV, when we were talking about the writing program and kids doing video productions of one form or another, I would think a team to go out to a site and just interview that area to do a mini video, really
Mhm.
2 or 3 minute spot to highlight the good things that are actually happening. Maybe interview a student working with students at Lane School or
Yeah.
Davis School, just to show that it's not just your people going from point A to point B to doing something, but the whole, and it can be shared with Bedford TV and whatever their productions are, if we can get all the releases and appropriate things for that, but also shared with the Bedford Citizen, where the students could do their article for the Bedford Citizen about that, but to get them involved with promoting their program, to give them ownership right on through to help other students gain the idea. I think you're onto something cool, and I think a partnership with Rotary would be great.
Yeah, I love that idea. And no, I'm a lot of it's me. I think it's feedback. No, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Bedford TV, actually, they responded to last year for, they were gonna take kids on to do job shadows, but their time frame was like, their schedule's different than ours. They start, I think, later in the afternoon. So I think, is Brian, there another Brian over there that is somebody that works at Bedford TV? Does anybody know?
Yeah, it's Brian, and we're all building a Rotary partnership with Bedford TV. And it's actually been going on for about 3 years, 4 years now. Okay, Christine.
So, hold on, so you're gonna mute them first. It's hard right now, we guess you'll mute some folks right now. It's hard to go from when you have Zoom.
Hi, Brian.
Hey,
So I want to leapfrog off of what Ralph was saying. So Ralph, what I heard you say was have a video crew go out and shadow the shadowers, right? Or shadow the internships to showcase what they're doing. And I think that's really cool. I also wonder if maybe some of these companies that have these COVID protocols in place, maybe they can't accept students in, but maybe they could invite an interviewer with a camera who could ask them, those sorts of questions. So not only one person could shadow, but then that video could be played to any number of students, maybe during X block, to share it to a wider audience, right? I mean, that's the power of Bedford TV. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like create a job shadow library of things.
Oh, we know the library.
right?
Yeah, I think working through the interact lab would be cool too.
Yeah. And the Rylands.
And then you will be tied to the block. Take what anytime.
Watch anytime. Another thing is like some of the companies I know have their bring your kids to school, no,
Yeah.
bring your kids to work one day. And they have programs like that, and maybe they have some videos and presentations that you can borrow or not
Oh, so you don't have to create them new.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
And adapt for Bedford specific needs.
That's right.
I think the really cool, sorry.
That was us.
I mean, I just think that the cool thing about Bedford is there's so many people that want to get involved and participate. So it's like this kind of like small town, but like everybody is so open to all these new ideas. And I never realized there's so many businesses here either. They're like hidden in the trees. So the suggestions are awesome, but I'm just grateful that I get to speak to a group of people that, that are outside. And I know this meeting will end in a few minutes. I think it's 1:30, but I just wanted to stress the fact that if people think about stuff, just shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to reach out. I mean, bottom line, I want to get the students exposed to things outside of the building, things that they may not know, about. Sorry for that.
Yeah, that's what we want to do too.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said maybe we can get them involved in the pollinator garden.
Still
Can't
break-
hear me?
Oh, now, perfect.
My volume was down. I said, maybe they can get involved with the pollinator garden. Just an idea to
What
get
was
them
the
out.
last
sometime.
part? The get involved with what? I'm sorry.
The pollinator garden.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to do that.
Good Saturday.
It's Saturday, exactly.
Is that at the Davis School? No? Where is that located, the pollinator garden? I feel like I've seen it.
Paula?
I think it's, all right, I'm muted now. Okay. Yeah, so Brian, the Rotary Club is creating a pollinator garden for at-risk pollinators, bees. And it's
Yeah,
going to be in town, behind the, that statue on Great Road Memorial Park, the one, the guy holding a flag. So it's right behind that. So we're hoping that it will be an educational tool basically, and an opportunity for the community to get involved. And hopefully we'll have high schoolers involved too.
yeah. Is that something that could be open to some high school kids that are really into it? Like they could
Oh,
help with the
absolutely.
A to Z? Should I contact you or like?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. Who's been talking to him?
Yeah, we'll get your email
Well,
address.
Yeah, I can get your contact.
Because that's exposing kids to, like, from beginning to end, they'll have ownership of it, they're residents of town. Something that, it's about their legacy too, you know what I mean? I helped create that. And yeah, that sounds awesome. And it's something that's needed, Yeah.
And it's just at the beginning now.
Oh,
Right.
okay, perfect.
We're at the very, very beginning. And another thing is that we're hoping it'll be a model for more gardens. So it could provide, maybe they'll do one at the high school.
Yeah, we have two beautiful courtyards here.
So,
Yeah.
they're probably not using native plants because this is all native plants,
Oh,
native to the
okay.
area. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, Ralph has my info, so just
Yeah.
definitely, I'll be in touch. I'll market it to kids, and if you get
Awesome.
one or two, that's awesome. Yeah.
Great, thank you. All right. It's
Okay, so we'll end the meeting. Can I talk over here? Oh, I shut off anything.
And don't forget to take
All
the
right.
do not enter sign off your door, Brian.
Oh, I know. No, I'm actually gonna shut my lights off and leave it up.
Okay, it's very challenging with the technology. So
Yeah,
I
no.
apologize for the feedback.
No,
We'll figure it
that
out.
happens. That's always happening.
I'd like to propose that we buy one of those $1,000 owl systems for our room, but I don't know if I'm gonna get a lot of support from the club. But well, thank you so much, Brian, for coming in. This was great. And I'll get everyone your email address
Okay.
and they can definitely contact you if they want to be a speaker, or do have an internship or a shadow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to partner with anybody, have anybody come in. So I appreciate your time and inviting me. I really do. Thank you.
Brian, your thinking process is very much right on line with what we've been doing. We've been especially sharing actively with Bedford TV. So really, we're in tune. This is good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.